Taurus, I know you're tired. I know you've felt like you're being tested in ways that don't seem fair, that don't make sense, that go beyond what anyone should endure. I know you've woken up in the middle of the night wondering why everything seems so difficult now, why every step forward comes with 3 obstacles, why it feels like the universe is working against you instead of for you. And I know you've thought about giving up, not on everything, but on what makes you feel alive. On that hope you still carry in your heart, even when everything around you screams that it's better to stop believing. But you haven't given up completely yet. And that's exactly why you're here now, watching this video. Because there's a part of you that refuses to accept that all this difficulty is pointless. A part that still believes there must be an explanation for all of this. And you're right, there is an explanation. A very specific reason why the universe is testing you so intensely right now. And when you understand that reason, everything will make sense. The pain will still be pain, but it will cease to be confusion. The challenges will still be challenges, but you will know exactly why you are facing each one of them. What I'm about to reveal will completely change your perspective on everything you've been through. I'm not going to tell you that everything is okay or that you should be grateful for the problems. I'm going to show you the stark truth about why you were chosen to go through this now, what's being forged inside you through these tests, and most importantly, what happens when you finally get through it all. Because you will get through it, not because you're strong, although you are, but because these tests have an expiration date, and it's much closer than you imagine. Are you ready to finally understand why your life has become so heavy lately? The first thing you need to understand is that the universe doesn't test people randomly. It doesn't choose just anyone to go through intense challenges. There's an extremely specific selection criterion, and you were selected because you possess something most people don't. The ability to transform through pressure without breaking completely. Like a diamond that only reveals its true beauty when subjected to immense forces deep within the earth, you are being compressed, pressured, tested from every angle because the universe knows you can emerge from this as something extraordinary. But here's what needs to be said with complete honesty. You weren't chosen because you're special in a comforting sense. You were chosen because you have the capacity to withstand pain that would destroy other people. And that's not a comforting compliment, it's a brutal truth. The universe identified a strength in you that you didn't even know you had, and now it's exploring that strength to its limit to see what you can become when you have no more protection, no comfort zone, no safe place to hide. Taurus, these tests you're facing aren't random. Each one was specifically designed to break something inside you. And before you get scared, understand, what's being broken isn't you. It's the false versions of yourself you built to survive in a world that didn't value your true essence. It's the masks you wore to be accepted. It's the limiting beliefs you absorbed about what's possible for someone like you. It's the fears that kept you small when you were born to be immense. For those born in Taurus between April 20th and April 30th, the tests they are facing involve letting go of identities that no longer serve them. You are being forced to release who you thought you were to discover who you can truly be. For those born between May 1st and May 10th, the intensity is focused on issues of self-worth and deservingness. The universe is destroying all the wrong ways through which you have measured your value. And for those born between May 11th and May 20th, the tests involve trusting yourself when all external structures seem to be crumbling. You are learning that the only real security comes from within. But here's the part nobody tells you about these tests. They're not meant to strengthen you in a general sense. They're meant to prepare you for something very specific that's about to happen in your life. Something so big, so transformative, so beyond what you know as possible, that your current self wouldn't be able to receive, process, or sustain it. The tests you're facing are like extreme training before a crucial mission. You're being pushed to your limit not to suffer, but to expand your capacity to handle levels of reality that previously seemed impossible. Why do you think the universe would invest so much effort in challenging you if it didn't have enormous plans for you? The intensity you're feeling right now has a surgical purpose. Every test you face is removing a layer of limitation. Every difficulty is burning away a false belief about yourself. Every moment you feel you can't take it anymore is proving you can handle far more than you ever imagined. And when this process is over, and it will be, you'll look in the mirror and not recognize the person looking back. Not because you got lost in the process, but because you finally found yourself. The universe is testing you so intensely right now because you've reached the point where you're ready for massive evolution. Not gradual improvement, not incremental growth. A complete transformation that will place you on a whole different level of existence. But to get there, everything that isn't essential needs to be burned away. Everything that is weak needs to be strengthened. Everything that is false needs to be revealed and discarded. Think of all the difficulties you've faced as a refining process. Imagine you are raw gold being heated to extreme temperatures. The heat isn't there to destroy you. It's there to separate the pure gold from all the impurities that have mixed with it. And yes, the process is painful. Yes, the temperatures are almost unbearable. But in the end, what emerges is something of inestimable value, something that shines with a light that only exists after everything that wasn't gold has been removed. You've probably wondered why these tests all came at once. Why weren't they spread out over years? Why this concentrated intensity? The answer is that there's a cosmic urgency in your specific case. The opportunities that are aligning for you can't wait. The version of you that will be able to seize these opportunities needs to exist now, not 5 years from now. That's why the process is being accelerated. That's why the pressure is being increased. That's why you feel like you're experiencing several years of growth compressed into a few months. Taurus, one of the cruelest things about these tests is that they often attack precisely the areas where you felt most secure. Your relationships, your financial stability, your health, your certainty about who you are and what you want from life. It seems like gratuitous cruelty, but it's not. It's strategic, because it's precisely in these areas where you've built false securities that need to be dismantled so that true securities can be established. You thought you were safe because you had certain people in your life, but the universe showed you that security based on other people is always fragile. You thought you were safe because you had a certain financial situation, but the universe showed you that security based solely on external circumstances can disappear overnight. You thought you were safe because you knew who you were and what your place in the world was. But the universe showed you that fixed identities are prisons that prevent you from evolving. Now you are being forced to find a much deeper and more real security. A security that comes from knowing who you are, independent of external circumstances. A security that comes from trusting in your ability to handle whatever life throws your way. A security that cannot be taken from you because it doesn't depend on anything external. And when you find that security, and you will, it will be unshakable in a way that none of your old securities ever were. The tests you're facing also serve the purpose of revealing who is truly on your side and who is merely taking advantage of a convenient version of you. When the pressure mounts, people show their true intentions. Some you thought would always be there disappeared at the first sign of difficulty. This hurts deeply, I know. But it's also a brutal gift from the universe, removing from your life people who would betray you at even more crucial moments in the future. And at the same time, you may have noticed that some unexpected people have appeared to support you. People you didn't even know well have shown surprising loyalty. This is no coincidence either. The universe is showing you that your real support circle isn't who you thought it was. It's connecting you with the right people for the next phase of your life. Those who have the strength to walk beside you when you become the most powerful version of yourself. Every test you face is also a question the universe is asking. Do you really want this? Are you willing to pay the price of transformation? And every time you persevere, every time you don't give up, every time you rise again, you are answering yes. You are telling the universe that you're willing to walk through the fire to get to the other side. And that answer is recorded. It is being accounted for, and it will determine exactly what you will receive when this testing period is over. Because here's something you need to understand. These tests have a deadline. They won't last forever. There's a point where the universe will say, enough. She has proven what needed to be proven. He has demonstrated the necessary strength. And when that point is reached, the change will be dramatic. Doors that were closed will open at once. Opportunities that seemed impossible will become available. The life that seemed unattainable will become your everyday reality. But the key here is that you need to persevere through the tests. You need to prove that you won't give up when things get tough. Because what's being tested isn't just your ability to endure hardship. It's your determination to pursue your evolution even when everything seems to be working against you. It's your refusal to settle for less than you deserve just because the path to more is painful. Taurus, you have a very specific characteristic. You endure. Where others would run, you remain. Where others would give up, you persist. Where others would surrender, you keep trying. And it is precisely this characteristic that the universe is testing to the limit. Because what is coming to you will demand exactly this ability to remain firm when everything around you is chaotic, to persist when it would be much easier to give up, to continue believing when all the evidence says it's time to stop believing. The intense tests you are facing are also about destroying your tolerance for mediocre situations. You have a natural tendency to settle for situations that are good enough, even when they are far below what you deserve. The universe is making these situations so unbearable that you have no choice but to demand more. It is forcing you to raise your standards, to stop accepting crumbs when you deserve the whole table. Yes, this means that some things in your life will need to end. Some relationships will need to end, some situations will need to be abandoned, some roles you've been playing will need to be left behind. And that's scary because you don't yet know what will replace those things. But the universe knows, and it's creating the necessary void so that much better things can enter. The intensity of the tests you are facing is directly proportional to the magnitude of the transformation that is coming. If the tests were light, the reward would be small, but the tests are brutal, overwhelming, seemingly endless, and that tells you everything you need to know about the size of what is being prepared for you. Something so big that your current version wouldn't have the structure to handle it. Something so powerful that you needed to be completely rebuilt to be able to access it. The universe is testing you so intensely right now because it loves you in a way you can't yet comprehend. A love that doesn't spare you the pain necessary for your growth. A love that doesn't give you false comfort when you truly need it. A love that pushes you beyond your perceived limits because it knows your true limits are far beyond what you imagine. During these tests, you may have felt abandoned by the universe, as if you had been forgotten or punished. But the truth is, the complete opposite. You are receiving maximum cosmic attention. You are being shaped by the invisible hands of an intelligence that knows you better than you know yourself. You are being prepared with meticulous care for a role that you cannot yet fully see. Each test you face is instilling in you a specific quality that you will need. Financial hardship is teaching you creativity and the ability to generate value from nothing. Relationship problems are teaching you self-confidence and emotional independence. Health challenges are teaching you respect for your body and its limits. Identity crises are freeing you from limited definitions of who you can be. When you look back in a few months, you'll be able to see the perfect design behind every difficulty. You'll realize that nothing was random, that each test came exactly when you were ready to face it, even if you didn't feel that way at the time, that each difficulty removed exactly what needed to be removed and strengthened exactly what needed to be strengthened. But to reach that point of understanding, You need to get through what's happening now without giving in to despair. You need to maintain a spark of faith, even when everything around you is dark. You need to believe that there is a purpose, even when you can't see it. Not because you are naive or deluding yourself, but because you can feel deep down that something meaningful is being built through all this difficulty. Taurus, the tests you are facing are also about teaching you to receive. You are great at giving, at working hard, at persisting, at enduring. But you are not so good at allowing good things to come to you effortlessly. These tests are breaking your belief that you need to suffer to deserve. They are preparing you for a reality where good things flow to you, not because you work to exhaustion, but because you have become someone who naturally attracts abundance. When these tests are over, you will have developed a completely new personal magnetism. You will radiate an energy that attracts extraordinary opportunities, people, and experiences. But this magnetism can only be developed through the intense pressure you are experiencing now. It is forged in hardship, tempered in challenge, polished in suffering that refuses to destroy you. What you need to understand right now, at this very moment, is that you are much closer to the end of these tests than to the beginning. You've already overcome the hardest part. You've already proven what you needed to prove. Now it's just a matter of continuing a little longer, of not giving up when you're so close to the finish line, of not surrendering to fatigue when victory is just a few steps away. The universe isn't going to waste all the investment it made in testing you. It won't take you this far only to abandon you. Every difficulty you faced was costly, significant, part of a bigger plan. And that plan is about to be fully revealed. You're about to understand why everything had to happen exactly as it did. And when you understand, you will bow in gratitude, even for the parts that hurt the most deeply. The intense trials you are facing are not punishment. They are initiation. You are being initiated into a level of life that only those who have passed through the fire can access. You are being given access to an exclusive club of souls who refuse to give up when it would have been much easier to surrender. And entry into this club is paid for with exactly the kind of transformative suffering you are experiencing now. When you emerge from these tests, and you will emerge, you won't be the same person. You'll carry a silent strength that doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. A deep confidence that doesn't depend on external validation, an inner peace that cannot be disturbed by external circumstances, and a clarity about your worth and purpose that no one will be able to take away from you. Taurus, I need you to understand that resisting these tests won't make them stop. It will only make them longer and more painful. The way to get through them faster is to surrender to the transformation process they are trying to catalyze in you. Stop fighting to maintain the person you were and allow the person you are becoming to fully emerge. This doesn't mean passively accepting everything that happens. It means stopping resisting the internal change that is trying to happen through external challenges. It means allowing old versions of yourself to die so that new versions can be born. It means trusting that what is being taken from you is creating space for something infinitely better. Share in the comments which specific test you are facing. Sometimes simply naming the difficulty takes some of its power over you. Subscribe to the channel because you'll need guidance on how to navigate the next steps in this process, how to recognize when the tests are ending, how to integrate the lessons you've learned, how to move towards the new life that awaits you on the other side of all this difficulty. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any messages that can strengthen you during the most difficult times. Remember, the universe is testing you so intensely right now because you are strong enough to pass the tests and extraordinary enough to deserve the reward that comes after. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. And when all this is over, you will look back and be grateful for every test, for every difficulty, for every moment when you thought you wouldn't make it, but you did anyway. You are ready to stop asking, "Why me?" and start understanding, "What for?"